All right, everyone, happy Monday. This is our second stream of the day. What I thought we would do is we're going to go over the 3 licks that started this whole thing called iMusicAcademy. Well, not really, but it's the first time that I decided to create some educational materials and things, and it's because of the most popular video of mine that's about to be at 1 million views. It's the worst quality video that I have at iMusicAcademy, but for some reason you guys have really liked it, commented, shared it. And so what we're gonna do is this. I'm going to make sure that everybody gets all these charts from this video. I want to make sure you have those. And also, I think I'm just going to wait till we get to 1 million views and then give some free stuff away. So in the meantime, I want you guys to hang out. Make sure you like this video if you're enjoying this stream and the streams I've been doing at iMusicAcademy. And then before we get started, if anybody's interested in taking your piano journey to the next level, you could join our fun little group that we have, a nice little practice group, and we meet twice a week. We do lots of fun practicing, and everybody's really encouraging. And so whether or not you study with me and our group or you study with somebody else, I definitely would encourage you to get involved in some kind of community as you're going through this musical journey. All right, so thank you for liking the video, whoever that is. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So one thing I like to do is turn on the metronome. And I'm off today, so I've enjoyed the stream I did earlier today and this one tonight, and I'm really excited about us getting to 1 million views. So feel free to say hello in the chat, give the video a thumbs up, and as always, you can leave comments, ask questions, and things like that. So let's go ahead and tell you a couple of things. I like to turn on the metronome. I've been encouraging my students to make sure that you're always practicing. Not always, but almost always practicing in time. It really helps when we turn on the metronome. And I like to go to onlinemetronome.com, and since I'm on my PC, just putting the window up in the corner, it's a nice, free, easy to get to metronome. You just go to onlinemetronome.com, and then as soon as I start playing or hit play, it's at 90 beats per minute right now. So that's just a nice little tempo for us to get started. And what we're going to do at first is I do want to give you a tour of the membership and what it's like, because this has been such a fun thing for me to do over the last 2 years. I think we have 15 people in our group now, maybe 14, but I think we have somebody else who's joining. So we're going to dig into the membership area, but also let me just give you a quick tour and actually pull up one of the charts we're doing tonight. We're going to do all 3 of those charts that are in the most popular video that we have, and it's the How to Be a Blues Pro in 1 hour. And right now, if you look in the right-hand corner of the screen, I'm actually logged into my membership area for me personally, and everybody who's a part of our group has their own login, and they can log in and get all the blues courses. So we have this thing called the Blues Academy that's a lot of fun, and ultimately whoever's in the group is investing in 1 lesson with me per month. In other words, what it costs somebody to study 1 lesson with me, which is the same exact thing that I would pay somebody if I was investing, in that they get access to everything, and you would get access to everything. This is not a sales thing in any way. I've been growing this very slow on purpose. I haven't been advertising it, but it's such a fun group, an encouraging group. But when you log in, you see your home screen and you see all the courses down here. And so you have access to that any time. But what I love, what we've been doing, is we have this thing we call the Blues Roadmaps. We've been working a lot with Blues Volume 1, so I'm just going to hit access now. And look how fast this is. This is something that I've always wanted to do, is to create a community of people to practice together, and also to create a thing where all of the courses are online and hosted online. And then watch when I click example 1, which is our most popular lick, and up comes the teaching video, and then also underneath that is actually the sheet music. So you have this thing we call Blues Roadmap. So I assigned all the students. I say, all right, this week we're going to work on Blues Example 1, 4, 5, and 6. And so we do 2 lives a week, and we're going through all this material. So we keep it lots of really fun, and we also do Zoom lessons and things like that. All right, so Blues Example 1, I'm not going to play the video because it's just part of the course, and it's the same thing I'm going to demonstrate now. This is not going to be an in-depth teaching stream. It's more or less going to be me practicing through this stuff, and if you guys have any questions, I will kind of show you the concepts of what each lick demonstrates, and we'll kind of break it down a little bit. And if you need more help, I'll help you with anything I can. Okay, so let me turn on the metronome, and I'm just going to start practicing example 1. I'm turning on my metronome, staying in time, just listening to the groove, and I like to encourage everybody to practice your bass line separate some. 1 and 2 and 3. This is great for the fingers. Sometimes people will ask, well, how do you lock up the hands, or they're having trouble locking up the hands? And what I like to tell you that you can do, one of the things you can do is to practice it slow and straight. So if you hear me sliding off from the minor third to the major third, I'm on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and watch this. 1 and 2 and 3 and so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, but I'm going to think slow and straight. 1 and, okay, I've got that. 2 and is with the C and A and the F and A with fingers 2 and 4. 1 and 2 and then when I go up to G and B flat, I'm up into the keys a little bit, and I hit the C and G twice, and back to C and A. So you hear how I'm practicing instead of trying to swing it. Right now, if I practice slow and straight, and if I have the sheet music and I can read the sheet music, I can lock everything up almost, well, really mathematically. So you say 1 and, so I'm breaking it down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Or maybe I need to just do the right hand only and get used to the downbeat of the E flat, the slide key to the E. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I love this exercise in the right hand because, one, it's outlining the minor third to major third, which is really important in the blues, but also I'm working my 2 and 3, my 2 and 4, and my 3 and 5, getting up in there in the keys. And in a few minutes, we're going to actually go over what we did today, which was we talked about there are 2 fingerings in this whole, all 12 keys to play the blues. Example 1, you're either going to do a slide key, sliding from the minor third to the major third, or you're going to hammer on, like if you're in D flat, you have to hammer on from the minor third to the major third. Thank you for liking the video. Maybe we can get up to 10 likes pretty quickly, so as you come in to watch the live or hang out for a few minutes, make sure you like the video, and if you get brave and bold, just say hello. We did a stream earlier today, and I had several people in the stream, but then right as I ended it, several people jumped in who hadn't been in the stream and were thanking me for the stream, which is really nice. But I would love for those people to say hello while the stream is going on. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and this is a great finger workout right here. And the great thing is when you go up to the F chord, which is the 4 chord of the C blues, you're doing the exact same finger movements. Now you're doing it over an F triad, then the second inversion B flat, which is the 4 chord of the B flat blues, and then you go to an F7 chord. So you're doing the exact same movements just starting on F. G is the same thing. You slide on from the minor third to major third of the G scale, and then you do the C chord in second inversion, which is actually the 4 chord of the C blues, and then you have the G7. So it's outlining G, C, and G7. And what I love, another thing I love, there's so many things I love about these licks, is that you don't have to play the lick exactly as it's written. You can actually go up and then come back down. Watch this right here. What's up, Charles Brown? Hey, you're welcome. That's awesome. And being a drummer, you have an advantage of a lot of people that you know. I like to play a lot of different instruments myself. I can't talk tonight. I do have my water I'm going to get in just a minute. But playing the drums really does help with your hand independence. And if you are a piano player or you want to be, you have a head start by playing the drums. But I'm sure you already know that. And it helps you with your independence and being able to lock the hands up. And so, Charles, do you read drum music or piano music yet? Sheet music? And while I'm waiting on Charles to respond, another thing that I want to do tonight for this stream is my main thing is sort of just once again to celebrate kind of this journey to this 1 million views on this, but also the iMusic Academy is growing, and I'm very excited about that. And I love helping people, but I also want to help you also learn how to practice. We all go through times of where we're not motivated to practice, or we've been out of music for a long time and you think, wow, it's been too long for me. Or you're a beginner and you think, well, I kind of wish I could play the piano. My thing is I truly feel that anybody can learn how to do this, and whatever music is in you can come out, and you can easily learn how to play the blues, for example, if you just follow a few simple steps. And that's probably why I created that blues shapes course a couple of years ago. And it might have been maybe a year and a half ago. I can't even remember now. But it's such a popular thing. I still use the shapes course all the time. And I think it might have been this last Christmas. It was my most popular thing that we did. And the blues shapes course takes our simple shapes, Charles and anybody else, like this, the first 5 notes of the C blues scale. And so all of those notes right now, and I could teach anybody just how to make this shape. Like we talk about, all right, you take these first 5 notes of the C blues scale, we talk about how to build that shape, and then you mash all the fingers down. It sounds horrible, but if you get into this shape and you get used to this shape going up and down, then we do what's called automatic pilot. Up and down. And then you start messing around with the notes, the order, but still with the same fingerings. And guess what? When I go to C, it's the exact same notes. So I like to teach those kinds of shapes. Let me just show you another shape. I'm actually working on a course right now, and I have all my shapes picked out, but some of those, that is actually one of the shapes. The other one is kind of an Oscar Peterson type thing where you do F and C, the 4th note of the C scale, up to the root, and just back and forth with that. Da 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 da, and that's a C minor. So all I'm doing is this little simple Oscar Peterson type thing that you can turn around so many different ways, and then I end it with a C minor, G, E flat, and C. So da da. Or go back to shape 1. Or another thing I love to teach is if you take this same shape and you go down to A and play the same shape but the first 4 notes, now you have this. Even over the F chord. Even over the G. Okay, so let's go back to our example number 1. Here we go. eighth notes. What's up? Huh? Yeah. What you doing? Wanna play in a few minutes? Okay, cool. All right, here we go. So we're gonna do G, F, Now, I like what I was just doing there, the idea of going up just a little bit. Remember that you can turn this around however you want to, but you can go da ba da ba dee bum ba da ba da ba da bum. Here, I'm not going all the way up to the flat 7. I'm just going from the C chord up to the F chord and back to the C chord. So listen to that. F, the same thing. G. So one thing that I'm doing there at the end, we do this very basic turnaround. A turnaround is a set of chords or a bass line, something to get back to the top. And so I'm doing of the form. So I'm doing C, E, F, F sharp, G, G. And that's actually in Blues Volume 1, so it's all written out and everything. Just walking it up, C, E, F, F sharp, G. And there's a fun thing you can do on the way down. If that's my bass line, C, E, F, F sharp, G, I can actually hit the C's together and hit the B flat and then come down chromatically, meaning one note at a time, and you come down to the G and you end on G's together. Or you could come down with a blues scale run, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. Just a blues scale there. So let me demonstrate that walk down, or the turnaround. So here we go. All right, let's keep going on. Let's do the second thing. So that's the first lick in this most popular video. The second one is actually just a C diminished triad. We already went over this today, so you can go back and review that if you want to. But C diminished, a really old school lick that's kind of fun. You just do 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then, or 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet. Here we go. Or actually, I think it's written out straight. Let me see. I can't even remember how it's written. It's either written in triplets. Surely it's written in triplets. No, I think that's it. Let's just look. Let's just see. That's the great thing about this. I'm going to go to example 2 in Blues Volume 1. And it says, so it's actually written in eighth notes. 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2, and 3 and 4, and And I was playing it when I started out in triplets, and that's another great thing about all of this music. Once you learn the licks and ideas, then you do any way you want to. Okay, so you get the idea there. All you're doing is taking a C triad, go down a half step with the top two notes, and use fingers 2 and 4. 2, 4, 3, 5, 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and does the same thing on F. And the main thing is it starts on the 2 and 4, so it starts on the diminished triad part. All right, let's keep going here, and let's do the most exciting lick from that video. It's actually not the first one. It's actually from Blues Volume 2. And let me go back to the home just to make sure. So Blues Volume 2, I'm going to pull up Example 2. And this is the one that I get tons of feedback about, saying, hey, I'd love to learn that lick. All right, there's the sheet music right there, and hopefully you can see that. Let me just check this really quickly. Okay. Now this lick seems difficult, and there are some tricky spots, but everybody can do this. What you're going to do is, if you have a C chord, second inversion, it starts off by the downbeat of E flat to E. And notice that I'm outlining the C triad in second inversion. And when I cross over, so 1 triplet and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 triplet and 1 triplet and 2. So notice that triplet, 1 triplet and 1 triplet and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Isn't that nice that when I go to that 1 and I'm already on that G? So here's how you're going to practice this, getting that second inversion C chord and get used to coming over, crossing over with 3 and 5. You can also play it, and once you get that, then you can play it lots of different ways like this. So notice that when I went up to F, I did the same exact thing. I did the minor third to the major third. And you just have to practice this. And then you come over to the 4 chord of F, you hit that B flat, and then you go minor third to major third of an F chord. And back to C. And on G, it's the same thing. I visualize getting up to the minor third to the major third, and I'm outlining. What's up, Tan May? You're back again. Sliding up minor third to major third. Tan May, the only thing that you missed today is we didn't do the third lick in Blues Volume 1. Yeah, twice in one day. So far tonight we've had Charles, who's a drummer. I don't think Charles is on anymore, but Charles stopped in, a drummer, and Tan May, you play guitar and also interested in keyboard. That's awesome. So this is the lick that people love from that blues, How to Be a Blues Pro in 1 Hour. And this lick right here is the way you practice and isolate this first part. So that's your C triad, first inversion, second inversion. This whole lick you have to get used to. Hey, awesome. Yeah, so were you doing that one that we did earlier today of do da do da do da? Right, definitely. Well, and actually this one works well on the guitar also, that those thirds or sixths, of course, are so nice. Do you know any good double stop blues licks for a 5-chord? Double stop blues licks? Yes, I do. Why don't we do this, Tanmay? Again, I told you can email me, bob@iMusicAcademy.com, and bob@iMusicAcademy.com or iMusicAcademy1@gmail.com. Either one of those, you can reach me, and let's get you set up with that. I love to do guitar stuff as well, and I still have to send you those guitar voicings we talked about. So tell me what your favorite key is to play the blues, and I'll get you started with that. Okay, so this idea, notice how I'm isolating this C in second inversion. So you guys know, all right, very good, please do. So a couple things that I'm actually doing a new setup in my studio thanks to my friend who built this desk, and I've been having trouble with my right side, my hands and muscles, because of a neck issue of always looking to the left while I'm teaching. My friend built me this desk, which is amazing, and I can even slide in and actually slide the keyboard in now. So this is my first day of teaching with this new setup, and I absolutely love it. But the reason I tell you that is I am in the process of sort of getting my technique working again. And so one of the ways, because, when your neck goes out or anything, sometimes it kind of shuts you down. And so when I'm doing these exercises and I'm isolating these things, it's helping me build up my technique again. And even this right here, guys, if you do this, right, you're really working those fingers. And instead of playing it fast, instead of going, I did. And just loop it for days. Same thing on guitar, right? Same thing on drums. So that right there is just from Blues Volume. It's from Blues Volume 1, but it's very simple in Blues Volume 1. It does the third up to the root, da 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 da, and then it keeps going down, da 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 da, which is a great simple lick. Do da do 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 da do 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 da da da. Yeah. Do da do da do da do do da da. And in Blues Volume 2, we actually extend that lick. But isn't that a fun way to play that? Simple idea is getting some really nice blues notes, but also you're getting some really good ear training in. And here's the great thing. Many of these licks and many of our favorite licks you can play in all keys with just one fingering or two fingerings. So for that one, if I was playing in, let's say, D, and I go third up to the root, I did the same exact fingering. So I did 1 5 1 2 1 5 1 2 1 5 4 and then 1 5. But watch when I same thing. 1 5 1 2 1 5. Right? Over G, or over F, or whatever key I'm in. Right, that was in B flat. Isn't that nice? Gave a like to the stream. Yes, thank you for liking the stream. And for those of you who may or may not know, the channel that is really blowing up is a little niche. It's just a side thing from iMusicAcademy. Jazz Piano Studio is on Instagram and has gained about 11,000 followers in the last month and a half or something crazy like that. It might have been closer to 2 months, but anyway, it's growing so fast and we're doing a bunch of things. So if you are on Instagram, you can come over to Jazz Piano Studio, which is just a separate little division of iMusicAcademy. All the videos, even though it's Jazz Piano Studio, all the videos say iMusicAcademy. So it's not abandoning iMusicAcademy in any way, but people seem to be enjoying those videos. I do a bunch of loops, 10-second loops. Sometimes it's chord voicing, sometimes it's licks, sometimes it's really funky grooves and things like that. So anyway, if you do go onto Instagram and you find Jazz Piano Studio, make sure you send me a message or a comment to let me know that you found me on YouTube, or you saw me on YouTube, and that you're from YouTube. That'll help me out. Okay, we're going to wrap up this little stream with just going over this one more time. That Tanmay was on the stream earlier today, and we talked about, for this first lick, you're either going to give me a slide fingering 1, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5, where you're sliding off from the minor third to major third, or you're hammering on in the case of D flat. So you have to get used to this idea of hammering on from the minor third to major third. Once you get this down, you can play in all keys. Example 1. So you're either doing slide key, D flat is a hammer on key, D is a hammer on the major third, E flat is a slide, E is a hammer on, F is a slide, F sharp is a hammer on key, G is a slide, A flat is a hammer on, A is a hammer on, B flat is a slide key, and B is a hammer on. Isn't that nice to know that once you get this slide fingering down, or you get the hammer on fingering, you can do it in any key. So that covers, yes, classic lick, and great to know and great for the fingers. And even, it doesn't matter if you're playing blues or jazz, you can find a place in your playing to play that lick, even if it's just the first up and down and not all the way through. It's a great fun little lick to play. And it's great for ear training and technique as well. The second one is more of that old school, right? All three of these licks are in this video. Tanmay, can you look and see, does it tell us exactly how many views we have on that most popular video, the one that says how to be a blues pro? It's 999,000, and I thought it was at 700, but it's getting close to 1 million. That's going to be fun if that's tomorrow. But guys, as you're doing this diminished, this is an old school diminished lick, but it's still fun, right? And that's a fun lick just to go back and forth between the two. Okay, so the next thing, 836. Wow, it's about to happen, isn't it? Tomorrow will be the day. That'll be exciting. And I'm going to send out, 200 more. So I'm going to send out a link as I do a stream tomorrow, and it'll have all three of those charts, and I may include a couple of the other fun things. All right, so let's do this. So let's talk about the very last lick. This idea, right? And you'll have all that sheet music tomorrow, so no worries. It's good to have the sheet music, even if you're that's awesome. Tanmay, I like what you just said, because that's exactly the way I want it. I'm excited for us. I believe that, and I that's what I love about iMusicAcademy and all the people that are a part of what we're doing, because it is an us, right? I would be nothing without you guys, and you guys kind of spur me on to do all this stuff. And so thank you for saying that. That's exactly what I needed to hear. It's going to be a fun day to do that. So tomorrow you'll have the sheet music, of course. I would give it to anybody who wanted it tonight, but let's just do it tomorrow. That'll be fun. And what I'm doing is I'll probably do a stream tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. and then I'll probably do one a little later. But whenever we get to 1 million, I'll for sure do a stream. So watch this. We're going to do E flat to E, G, D. So you just practice this. You're building up your technique. And then let me honor what I said with the metronome. I always get my students to practice with the metronome. It keeps you really focused, right? You have that beat going. I go, or eighth notes. I'm going to go 1 and 2 and central time. Or I could play it like this. That's a fun way to play it. And that makes a great ending as well. Let's just say I was doing those two licks. I'm doing F, on G. Here we go. All right, let me stop that. Okay, now the last thing I'm going to show you is this. This is a lot of fun. When you go inside the membership area, you'll see something. I'm going to hit back, and I'm going to go back to the home. What I love is that in addition to having all the blues courses and the blues in all keys and the blues shapes in all keys, blues shapes course and blues shapes in all keys, the transposition toolbox, easy jazz piano, all this stuff, I also love, one of my favorite courses is the blues piano, because it takes the blues alternate bass lines, and this is volume 1, and I've actually written out about 27 bass lines, and they're all in Dropbox, but I only put 10 on the first volume, and because it's really important to master the ones we've been working on. So blues volume 1, blues alternate bass course, it's like all the others. You just press the play button and you can watch all the videos, but we also do blues roadmaps. So for instance, what I like about this course is every single right hand lick is example 1. So you have 10 different bass lines that go over with different bass lines, and so we teach how to lock everything up. Like this, for instance, has sort of a Ray Charles feel, right? Normally I might play it a little slower. Right, and then let's just do a couple other bass lines out of this one. You have example 3 does, oh, that's a fun. So you're building up muscle memory in the right hand, and then as you start to work on these bass lines, you're building up muscle memory there too. But one of my favorites to learn for people to teach to teach to people is learning this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So you can go. Now listen to this. So that's a great example of taking this lick, but kind of slowing it down to make it fit with that groove. Or I could go. Right? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, just having way too much fun with that. Awesome. That's right. Yeah, the left hand sound, that's the foundation. Yes, definitely central time, and I'm glad that you like the left hand. Tan May, when it comes to these left hand bass lines, you know, I like to teach isolation. You're building up muscle memory. That's the reason I can have a conversation with you and talk about whatever while I'm playing this or this. Right? I can do that because I built up the muscle memory. I'm no different from anybody else. We build up muscle memory 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and then we learn how to lock up the hands based on that muscle memory. 1 and 2 and. Okay, the C lines up with the E. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Oh, look, the G lines up with the F and A. All right, let's try to get to that. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. So okay, the A's are together. Or C, watch this. The E's are together. What about on G? Oh, the B's are together. And now we'll end it like this. So we have so many fun licks in all the different volumes. That is kind of one of my favorites of using that sharp 4. That's an old school blues lick. I'll do it in C, but using this or an F. So you go. All right, guys, have a great night. That was a lot of fun. Tan May, I hope to see you tomorrow. I'm going to go hang out with my boy and play some games. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, and thanks for hanging out. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Tan May, and anybody else watching this on the replay. Let's see if we can get this up to at least 10 likes before we go live tomorrow. Maybe 20. That'd be a nice thing. If you're watching this on the replay and you're looking forward to tomorrow's Central Time stream around 9 or 10 or between there, or whenever we get to 1 million, make sure you like this video as anticipation for a good day. And I'm going to give you guys those licks tomorrow. I'll send a link in the stream, and you just download those and have fun with them. All right, Tan May, have a good night, and Charles and anybody else, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Keep practicing.